Okay, now, respect. Welcome back to Smitty's Corner. Um, this right here is one of my characters I developed. It's from my all black anime. That's right. I'm coming up with an all African American anime. Well, basically graphic novel. So those who are hip will know this is one character from my graphic novel. He's a bounty hunter. We'll get into that later. What I want to talk about very briefly is this. I want to talk about like loyalty. I want to talk about friendship. I want to talk about brotherhood. I want to talk about the process of how men operate. All right. So I would like to start off before I say anything. I want to make this extremely clear. I am a man of discernment, logic, rationality, and observation. I am a man that is fully aware. Majority of what we put out, we will never see back on. We will never reap the fruits and the benefits of what it is that we've sown. I'm light years ahead of that mindset. So just in case, moving forward, right? I do want to speak about something. And I just want to, once again, this is a message to anybody who may know exactly what it is that I speak of. If you're able to identify, wonderful. If you're not, listen again. Maybe one day it'll sink in, right? There are going to be so many times in life you're going to find yourself. You know what makes it so hard being the givers, those of the big hearts of life, genuinely? I'm talking about you don't look for anything behind it. You do that shit because you have an abundance of it to give. Or at least that's what your spirit tells you, right? Those of us who truly, just naturally, without question, without thought, it's just in us to give, you will not, in any form or fashion, ever receive a fraction, not a hair, of what it is that you know that you've given in totality to this world. Majority of what you do will fall on either deaf ears and or it just won't be recognized. It won't. You know the most difficult part about being that giver, that naturally organic, organized, and designed person to dish more than receive? You know what makes it so hard? You know how many times folks like us say, that's the last time I'm going to do such and blase, blase. You know what we wound up doing? Exactly what's naturally built in us to do. Give again, forgive, let go, bygones be bygones. We got a bad habit of that. Why do I call it a bad habit? Because it drains you of your peace. I don't think most people recognize how truly, truly, truly frustrating it can be when you know, like, yo, you have no idea how much I really would do for you. But in return, you won't even speak up in the name of my character. Yeah. You got a lot of people that will be right there with you. They'll smile, they'll laugh and joke and everything. Let the lights go out. Let's see who gonna help you find your car keys in that dark room. Let's see who's going to help you or walk you back to your home or your doorstep. Let's see who's going to call you the next morning to make sure, hey, you all right, man? That was a crazy night. My point in which I'm saying that in those examples is you're going to find yourself giving so much more than what it is that you receive back. To be honest with you, there are going to be a lot of times you don't receive a damn thing back. Nothing. And you know you done put that work. You know genuinely, sincerely, in your heart of hearts, you just did the damn thing for them peoples. And you just might so much not even get a thank you back. You have to recognize that is what comes with being designed as the givers. That's a very, very hard burden, a very, very heavy load to carry. Being designed as one of those who are the givers. Shit ain't easy. People try to run over you. You know what's the worst about it? When you give and give and give, and finally when you say no, people try to make it seem like you never said yes ever in the first place to begin with. And you just be looking around like, yo, so we just gonna ignore all the times endlessly I have gone above and beyond. You guys have no clue of how many times I just helped you, and when I went home, I didn't have for myself. Because in my heart of hearts, something just kept telling me, just do it, and you will be rewarded in the future. But you know what's frustrating? We're humans too. And sometimes, it doesn't come around for us as, I guess you can say, as fast as we may feel it should. Why? Because we're human, just like you. Although we placed ourselves in such a super heroic position when we were doing what we were doing for you and or whoever else we were assisting. And you all never saw it. You didn't see how much was being pulled out of me and those people. You didn't see how much was being pulled out of that person that really is just in them. As a matter of fact, little do you know, when you asked us, we wanted to say no. As a matter of fact, that was the first thing that came to our minds. But you know what we said? I got you. How many times have you been that person? You know you just want to say, nah, man, I ain't got it in me. But you know the reputation that you hold, and you know how much people look to you in that light as far as you're the giver. So what do we do? Do we just keep giving and giving, knowing we know it's draining the life out of us? And I mean that in the physical, literal sense. Like, it actually can make you physically unhealthy to keep doing for others and never have the self-preservation to just pamper you. It can definitely take its toll, you know? So I just sit back and I be thinking to myself, like, when is enough enough? You know what really, like I said before, makes it so difficult is when we know that's what people expect of us. And because we know you all like, you feed and you leech off of the beats of our heart. With every time our heart beats is another pump of love that we produce. So what do? You leech off of it. And then when that person actually comes into a situation where now we are in a bind, we have no one to look to. And as a matter of fact, not just we don't have no one to look to. It's not like we can suffer in silence. If we even in the slightest way begin to even express that finally, for once, here and there, we're going through something, you know what happens? We're looked at like we motherfucking crazy. We looked at like is something stone cold wrong with us because we finally said, hey, I could use some help. Hey, I could use a hug. I could use a good word. You know, it'd be nice if somebody bought me dinner tonight. Little shit. When you know you're that person, you go above and beyond. You're always there. Can't nobody take away from the fact that you consistently show up. You don't fail your peoples. Can't nobody go really back on your track record and say you failed them. Of course, I mean, as natural humans with flaws, no one's perfect. So what takes place? Yeah, of course, there are times where you fell short, but overall, your track record is that woman, that man, those people, that person is solid. Solid over there. But you know what people do? They don't want to reciprocate the solidness. Nah, nah. When you're all drained out and when you're to the point where you have nothing left to give, don't you ever, ever, ever expect for anybody to come dump a bucket of water into the well in which you provided for the village. No, they will just keep pulling that bucket up on that rope until you are empty. And when you are empty, you know what happens? They just walk the fuck away and find somewhere else to get water. And they never think twice about you again. To all the givers, don't stop giving. Just be very, very mindful of who you give to financially, emotionally, physically, mentally, and spiritually. Be careful who you pour into. You know, kind of like the pearls and swine thing that we all know about so well. Be careful with that. Be very careful. Because one thing that us as givers you know what's so sad? We only realize that self-preservation is the most important when we have nothing left for ourselves to give us. Like, it's like once you finally don't have nothing for you, finally it kicks in. It's like, I should be more about me. And it's like, yeah, I should have thought about that like a minute ago before I allowed these people, this person, this organization, this company, this group, right? Whatever that circumstance for you, it fits, right? But I know it fits somewhere in your life. You're going to be like, yo, man, how much money I could have saved, time, gas, energy, but brain power, physical energy juice, the whole nine. You just continue to find yourself draining yourself. And you know what's so sad? When we as the givers say, I ain't never doing that shit again. What we find ourselves doing by the next week, once we done either wiping the tears or kicking the can or beating ourselves up or, you know what I'm saying, venting to our bestie or our lady or our man, what do? We turn right the fuck around and do the same shit. It's just like the person who realized drinking a pint of liquor every night gives me a badass hangover the next day, but yet they just keep drinking until the alcohol does something to their body to take them out of here. It's vicious. It's real vicious out here being a giver. You know what's real easy? Being the taker, being the receiver. The hand that is over will always be better than the hand that is under. It's just universal law. It's a fact. Okay? Does that mean there's something wrong with the one receiving? No. It's just a message to those who has the hand over top of the hand that's on the bottom. Just know, before you open that fist and you release those coins into that palm beneath yours, just know you may not ever see it again. You may not ever even get a thank you. And you need to be okay with that. You need to be more than okay with that. You need to recognize that's part of the very, very tough design of being one of the givers. And with that being said, I digress. My mic is muted. This has been your boy Smitty. Always remember, self-preservation comes before anything. Because if you can't take care of you, how in the world can you possibly ever provide and or give to others? Common sense, right? But we all know common sense isn't common nowadays. Respect.